Hey family, I'm SNwadiei. I'm Habasia. I know y'all saw a nice intro, but I can't help it, y'all. I'm just used to starting off my videos that way. I'm gonna let y'all see what I have on, and it's not really that much different than I've been wearing, but it's a lot different. I'm sorry. It's a lot different than what I've needed to wear lately, because it had a snowstorm here, y'all, in Texas, Galveston, Texas. You would expect that in Dallas, but not in no Galveston. We've been having outage of lights for like a whole day at a time. I had plenty of practice in the motherland for times like this. All in the motherland, the lights didn't go out for that long. And definitely, I was praying for them to bring back the lights. I didn't know when it would happen. Just when I think that I just have to get used to being cold under the covers, the heater would cut back on. Then since it's a space heater, I'd have to turn it down because it gets hot really quickly when it's close to you like that. So anyway, all night long, we was having the utilities cutting on, cutting off. CenterPoint Energy called, like with a robo-call, to say they fixed the problem. It was a maintenance issue. And then like less than an hour after that, it went off again. So it went from, we did maintenance, your lights are working, to it's a rolling blackout. The middle of the night, we ran out of water. No different than when I was in the motherland and didn't have water for a while. I'd be praying the water come on too and get used to taking like a little spot bath when the water did cut on, because sometimes it didn't have enough water pressure. So I would be using a smaller faucet that had water pressure and wet my towel and do almost a sponge bath like I was in the hospital or something, you know? But it was like limited water. So all of that prepared me for being here, even though still it's a culture shock, because I was not expecting this to happen in Galveston. You know, I just really wasn't. So anyways, while we had the lights, I decided to cover a subject that I have already covered, but apparently nobody was listening, at least not as many people. Well, one of my subscribers asked me to cover about respecting your elders. Well, y'all know, as a Creole grilltist, I always tell y'all my take on something. When I was growing up, everybody I knew respected their elders. You wouldn't dare talk bad about nobody's mama, grandmama, dad, and nothing. They be ready to fight you. And so definitely you ain't going to be talking about your mama, grandmother, nothing else either, because you love them. It didn't really matter if they got a whooping from them or you didn't get a whooping from them. That's not the point. Because my grandfather, I never got one whipping from him, y'all. Not one. My grandfather only spoke to us to tell us what he wanted us to do. I've never even seen him touch his children physically. Never. My grandmother was the one that whooped people with whatever. But as for my grandfather, no. And when she was tired of whooping them, she'll say, just wait till your daddy get home. And they was all upset. And all I hear my grandfather tell them is, your mother is disappointed in you. And I'm disappointed in you. You know, you're not supposed to do that. And whoever he was talking to, whether it was a big old teenage male or not, would start crying because that person had disappointed daddy, their daddy. And everybody thinks that your daddy's love is earned, it's not guaranteed. So, yeah, they cried. He didn't beat them not once. That was some respect, guys. He just tell you what he wanted you to do, and that was pretty much it. He was always helping people, doing good works. Just a good person, y'all. Wasn't a saint, according to my grandmother. She told me about back in the day, and I didn't want to hear it. I was like, oh, Lord, here she goes, talking about my wonderful saintly grandfather who fixed barbecue on Sunday. So I pretty much did not believe nothing she had to say that was negative about him, because I never saw him do anything wrong. I figured if something happened when he was young, that's way before he was my grandfather. My grandfather was perfect. But I didn't tell her anything because what? I respected her. She was my grandmother. So I just listened to what she had to say. I didn't make no comments. None. Whether I was a kid or even as an adult, I let her just rant and rant and rant about my grandfather like I was deaf. I let her vent, get it out her little system, and I was just thinking, poor mother, she just needs to let it go. The person she's talking about doesn't even exist anymore. I never saw that person she's talking about. I don't know who that is. But anyways, no matter what my grandmother did, I respected her because I noticed she loved me, she cared for me, she took care of me when I was a baby, and she made sure I knew how to take care of myself and others and care for others in a way like I would want people to care for me. That's what I saw growing up. And I learned that. I watched my mother respect her mother and her father, and I copied that. I saw my aunts and my uncles respect their parents. They weren't perfect, y'all, but they knew the rules and they followed them. And we respected all adults. Yeah, we did. Even if we called folks out their name, we didn't know no better. We was ghetto whites, you know. Like I said, back in the day, when I was a little kid growing up, I was on the front porch listening to my aunts talk about people. You know folks, you know, they ain't got nothing else to do. And they called this man that passed by. Well, what they said was, just look at him with them big old teeth. He looked just like a rabbit. So I respected my aunts. I was a little kid. So I figured if he had big teeth like a rabbit, he must be the Easter rabbit, because everybody loves the Easter rabbit. I know he hadn't done nothing to me, so that couldn't have been nothing bad, because would my aunts say anything bad about anybody? So the next time he came by the house, the first thing I did was call him, "Hey, Mr. Easter Rabbit." But see, y'all, I was respecting him. I called him Mister. And my aunts, they was like all in shock, like, oh, don't say that. When they know they said it, and I just heard them and repeated what they said. I didn't know it was supposedly an insult. So anyway, he told them, don't worry the baby, leave the baby alone. She called me Mister. Leave her be. And then he turned around and gave me some money, y'all. I don't know if it's 25 cents. I don't know if it was a nickel. Even if it would have been a penny. Back then, for a little kid, that was a lot of money. You could go across the street and buy you 2 cookies for a penny, 3 cookies for a penny, 2 candies for a penny, 1 candy for a penny. So no matter what he gave me, it reinforced my behavior. But I did give him his respect. So I learned that, yeah, everybody likes to be respected. So that mister worked. I remember my grandmother told me that she didn't need me to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, because she was tired of telling folks that at her jobs in the past. She said, you don't have to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Just say, don't say yep and nope. I don't want you saying yep and nope. You say yes and no. And so I said, okay, mother. So I knew she didn't want me saying no yep and nope. So I made sure I said yes and no when she asked me a question. And I know I didn't need to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am to her because she didn't really want that. And I learned to call her by the name she liked, which was mother, because she helped raise me, and that's what her children call her, mother. So she was happy with me. I remember some of my other cousins, they didn't know the rules. And they was calling her grandmother, grandmother, grandmother. They was not her favorite, y'all. It wasn't. She used to talk about them when they wasn't around. Them little blankety blanks calling me grandmother, grandmother. She couldn't stand them calling her grandmother. She just couldn't. She would prefer you call her Miss Sam, like the kids that she babies, well, I guess home daycare, the children that she kept in home daycare. And she just couldn't stand a grandmother. I don't know why. And when we'll go somewhere, she'll have me tell folks I didn't know how old I was because she don't want to get old. I didn't take after her for that job. I don't have a problem with being, 67. So no matter how old I got, if I was by my grandmother, people would say, how old are you? And I say, I don't know. Everybody thought I was a little simpleton. But I was respecting my grandmother, y'all. She was my elder. She told me that you don't get paid for telling people your age. If somebody asks you how old you are, you tell them you don't know. I was like, Lord, have mercy. Here we go again. I know how old I am, but my grandmother say don't tell nobody, so I can't tell nobody. So that was that, y'all. Where my mother respect was not as hard. She just wanted you to follow the rules, at least as a teenager. When I was younger, yeah, she did whoop me and stuff like that. I don't even know for what, y'all. I don't know. People back then, I don't think they knew what to do with kids other than beat them. I don't know. But anyway, when I got to be about 12 years old, I just asked her, because I was watching Patty Duke, y'all. I don't know why I thought Patty Duke growing up on TV was like me growing up in my little Creole house. I don't know. Patty Duke wasn't no Creole, but her guardians just spoke to her, and she just had to follow the rules, that's all. And I just told my mom, I say, could you just tell me what you want me to do? Because Patty Duke don't catch whoopings. And she thought about it like, okay, like I had lifted a burden off her shoulders. So from thenceforth, I learned what she wanted me to do, which wasn't that hard, really. She was an easy person. Wasn't too much. Mostly it was, if you do something wrong, don't do it by her. She don't want to know. Oh, she'll act like she don't know. So if you're not caught doing something, don't admit it. She do not want to hear that. I'm telling you. If she catch you smoking because you copied her smoking by picking up her cigarettes and smoking the butts, because you wanted to be like your mama, didn't you? And she would be like, inhale, honey, inhale, inhale, inhale. Choked the crap out of me with that cigarette. But I was younger, pre-Petty Duke time. And I learned, oh, you cannot smoke in front of my mama because she will make you choke the crap out of yourself with the cigarette. The same cigarette that she was smoking every day, all day. So anyway, she said, yeah, and after I did that, I never saw you smoke again. And so I told her, yeah, I know, not in front of you. Anyways, I didn't tell her that, but I was thinking that. And then they used to cuss and swear she didn't cuss. And nobody else in the family. She said it was the next door neighbor who was cursing and that I heard through the paper thin walls of our little ghetto house. That's how I learned how to cuss. But that wasn't true, y'all. They all cuss like sailors. They did. I'm sure they should have gone to confession a bunch from all that cussing they used to do. But anyway, I learned that I shouldn't cuss in front of my mother because she said, you know you like pretty things, Stephanie, so as long as you're saying all these nasty words, I am not going to buy you anything. And I'm like, what? I mean, that's how y'all talk. So I figured, okay, kids can't cuss. I have to think about what I say in front of my mama. So I didn't cuss anymore in front of her. That was that. And of course she said, and you never cussed again. And I was thinking, no, not in front of you. So for her, I found out that respecting her was just not doing nothing bad where she could see. She would hear all of these rumors from my cousins, and she was too liberal for my own good. My cousin would say, oh yeah, Stephanie does blah, blah, blah. She does with my kids. And my mama would say, you should have told me you did that. I would have bought such and such for you. And I'm thinking, why would you want to encourage me to do something that I'm too young to be doing in the first place? It's like, I didn't understand. It's like a little sibling rivalry between my mama and her cousin. Even if it was something that I shouldn't have been doing. It's like she wanted to be the most liberal parent. And give me her approval. And I didn't need it. I'm like, I'm trying to turn down negative influence as it is. Oh. And if somebody even tried to encourage me to do some negative stuff at my house when my mama wasn't around, I didn't tell her because I didn't want her banning me from learning anything, you know. I just tell the person off myself. Don't you ever come to my mama's house? You talking like that to me? I don't do that. I'm not that kind of girl. And politely threw them out my mama's house. But my mama didn't know nothing about it. It never knew nothing about it because I knew she would have thought that person I was with was horrible. Don't have them around. And then would think all of my other friends was like that too. Well, I'd known that person since kindergarten. And I didn't know when that person went down the bad road where even a 12-year-old was ready to kick them out the house and threaten them, talk about their mama's house. It's like you couldn't even disrespect my mama's house, even if my mama wasn't there. Because I knew what you was talking about was something 12-year-olds don't need to be even thinking about. I was like, oh, how horrible. But anyways, we were conditioned to be the people that we are. And I still respect my elders, even though I'm 67. You won't hear me cussing out nobody, period, anymore. Whether they my age or not. And I will be upset if somebody think they can talk to me in a kind of way or call themselves thinking that they're my equal, because age ain't nothing but a number. We did not grow up like that. Oh, heck no. Age is more than a number. That's why people get older, so they can tell you something. People that don't learn anything, that don't become elders because they old idiots, that's different. But the majority of the people become elders and learn better. I know it's a lot of people out there don't have home training because they don't know that your elders should be respected and not seen as your home girl or some woman you think you want to add to your harem or something. Or marry you. Oh no, I'm not the one. I don't care what group you're in or group you're not in, what belief system you have. All I can tell you is I'm not interested in anybody. I'm single, divorced, happily divorced. My ex and I are friends. I am traditionally still married to his family, and I am good with that. We get along just fine. I'm wife number one. I'm good, y'all. They still call me the wife of the family. I'm good, y'all. And I feel insulted when somebody don't respect my rights to choose how I live my personal life. I just don't understand, folks. It's like we all have freedom of choice. And that choice is to decide if we want to be coupled with somebody or whatever with somebody. You don't have to be part of any group like that. I already got enough of a group like that by living in a family compound house. I have adults that live in the same house with me already. I don't need to have any sister wives or anything else. I don't need no extra kids to take care of or nothing like that. I've raised many children, including 2 grandchildren that graduated inside of my house right here in Galveston. So it's not like I haven't raised children and more children that I didn't even give birth to. And I helped to raise other children, and I helped to send other people's children to school, help educate adults. And that's not to even brag about anything. It's just to say I'm living my life on purpose. I figure that as a spiritual person, I am doing the works that was set out for me to do what? In advance, y'all. I think we all have a purpose on this planet, but we have to just choose to accept or not accept our purpose. And the way you know it's your purpose is you're walking in it. You're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. I don't need anybody else to speak for me on a routine basis. I have plenty of family and friends that's males that can step into the gap when I need protection and guarantee you me, they got my back. Yes, they do. Whether I'm in the Gambia, I'm in Galveston, I am well protected. I'm not afraid of anybody in this place. You know, I got people here all the time. It's like, what burglar would have any sense would even attempt to try to come into this house? It's always somebody here that may hurt them, so they better off not coming here. And when I'm in a motherland, I have people calling me all the time, checking on me. They're there for me when I need to go somewhere and do things. I got people, y'all. I got people in Nigeria. I have people in Gambia. I even have relatives in the Gambia that care for me. I have lots of relatives in the United States that care for me. You will never hear me talk down about where I'm living. I love Galveston. I love Texas. Do I like the way they run this place? No, I don't, because I got real mad when the electricity got cut off and the water got cut off. I'm like, I'm not supposed to have to pray to get lights and water here. Like, what's up with that? Build the infrastructure and maintain the infrastructure. My goodness. But it's not like I'm throwing out the baby with the bathwater. I cannot move 100% of my family to the motherland. That's just impossible, y'all. I can't force grown people to do anything. I can just prepare a place. If they want to come, it'll be a place there for them. And in the meantime, y'all, I'm enjoying my life in both places. I'm keeping my citizenship here. I have my residency in the Gambia. All I can say is, I expect as an elder to be respected. Doesn't matter that I'm a woman, because I grew up where my grandfather definitely respected my grandmother. Yes, he did. Never saw him disrespect her, and I never saw her disrespect him in public. Never one time. Not once. She knew how to give him his respect as her husband, and she gave him respect as the father. She loved saying, well, let me wait till your father get home. I'm going to tell him such and such. So, y'all, it's a time and a place and a way to approach your elders. You have to know who you're talking to, what their belief system is, and know that you should respect their rights to be what? Single or married, single marriage or polygamous marriage. That is their choice. Hands down, their choice. And me being a human being and a woman, I'm telling you, I make my choice, and I'm happily single/divorced. I've been married one time. I'm happy. I love my ex. I love my family. I'm good, y'all. Y'all hear that in the background. I tell y'all, this not edited. Oh. And I tell you, I love my ex because of him. He was my introduction to the motherland and my blood in, so to speak, back into Nigeria. And there's no blood out, because we have 3 sons together. They carry on the family name, and they have, 2 out of 3 anyway, have children. And their children, some of them are going to have children. And so the name is going to go on, And for that, I'll be ever loving him for life. Not like you love no husband that you with, but one that helped you get your name back. That part of me that wanted to be connected, that I have a legitimate connection to Nigeria by the name, that I have an Igbo name that I would not want to get rid of. It's part of my identity. I don't need to switch it for anybody else's name. Not interested. I love being SNwadiei. So anyway, I'm just letting y'all know, because some of the folks been approaching me because they just started watching my videos, so they don't know. So it's for these people that don't know. I am happy just the way I am. I'm not interested in any relationship at all. That's personal. I like being a celibate. I do. And I like doing solo travel. I don't have to ask anybody permission to go back to the motherland. And I don't have to ask anybody's permission to come back here to the U.S., to Galveston. And if I get cold, I don't have to have nobody saying, I told you so, you should have stayed in the Gambia, or you should have never left in the first place so you could just got used to it being cold, whatever. So anyway, guys, I'm going to let y'all see what I'm wearing. See my little hat from Cameroon. Earrings from some vendor, cooperative economics. My poncho from Dallas, from a sister that I guess she knitted this and gave it to me for a good price because she wanted me to have it, even though I didn't have that much money. I was just so happy she let me have this for the money that I had left. I wasn't trying to negotiate. I just ran out of money, y'all, and she just really wanted me to have it. So I'll never forget how wonderful she was to me for letting me have this for the money that I had in my pocket, what I had left. Because I had cooperative economic, all my other little money. And I had gone to this place in Dallas. Or Dallas? Detroit. Yeah, it was Detroit. I had gone to this place and didn't bring a jacket with me. And I was cool. And I was like, oh, I got to go back to that bus in the cold. I sure wish I had this poncho. This is so pretty. And she like, how much you got? How much you want to pay? Because I said, how much is that? She like, how much you want to pay? And I say, all I got is such and such. And she like, I'll take it. So anyway, guys, life is good. And I just tell y'all, respect y'all elders. Listen to what they have to say. Record their stories before you forget them, whether you write them down or just talking to a recorder. They're valuable stories, y'all. One day, hopefully you'll be an elder and you'll have stories to share. Because you got stories to share right now. Just the way you are right now. You have stories to share with younger people. And even some older people want to hear your stories. If your story is interesting enough. So anyway, guys, all I can say is respect your elders. Try not to insult them by insisting that they do what you want them to do. Because to me, that's an insult. Your elders are not children. We're not cute. We're not little children. We're not senile. We don't have organic brain syndrome. When the people have that, then yeah, unfortunately, somebody have to take care of them. But I pray to the Most High that will never be me. I like to just be blessed by going to sleep and wake up somewhere else. I don't want to ever be a burden on anybody. But anyway, guys, until next time, peace, peace, power to the people, and I'm out, y'all. Bye.